So, undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world, Artur Beterviev, comes out and responds to a lot of different things people been saying online or in the media or the public. And he says that in response to the comments about a rematch and the doubts about his victory, he says, I think we have already defined what needed to be defined with Bivol. He says his team is making a big deal out of nothing about the judge's verdict, but I won the fight. If it had been different, they wouldn't have given me the victory. So he's saying if the fight was a little more different as far as how he fought, he wouldn't even won the fight. You know what I'm saying? He said he know it was a close fight, but he wouldn't have gotten the decision if he didn't really go as hard as he did. He know he pressed the last 4 or 5 rounds, and he won the fight because we all know he was down early, and he wasn't really doing much first couple of rounds. He a slow starter. Got started very late as far as his game plan and him pressing overall. He wasn't really aggressive and pressuring the whole time. It was at a stalemate for a while throughout the fight. It wasn't like he was walking Bivol down the whole time or anything like that. But yeah, I understand what he's saying as far as that. I think he understands it was a close fight. But he has said some other things in the media too as far as after the fight. Matter of fact, after the fight, when he was sitting on the couch in the dressing room, he said that just telling the media, you know, I am almost 40 years old, so this is not the best version of me. I am past my prime. I'm not in my prime right now. So this isn't the best version of me. And he said I'm also coming off an injury. Still, I just had an injury recently. Not excuses he used. He was just letting it be known, like, that's what's going on. He didn't say it going into the fight, but afterwards, he did refer to it. That does make sense. I wasn't really even thinking about that. The age or anything. That wasn't really an excuse. So I don't think he used it as an excuse. He was just saying to let them know the reality of the situation. He said, I am not interested in discussions about whether he deserved the victory or not. They raised my hand and that's it. Of course, I would have liked to win more decisively, but we have what we have. And he said, in my opinion, there's no point in talking about a rematch. Of course, if an interesting offer comes, we will consider it. But is there any compelling reason for a rematch? Everything was clear in the first fight. In the first fight, it was. Yeah. That's definitely that definitely makes a lot of sense. But yeah, he was just talking about a lot of different things and them talking about the judgment and whether they was gonna argue, was it fair, needing a rematch. He don't really see a point in the rematch as far as the victory. He feels like he pulled it out. It was an obvious win. Sees no huge problem in it. Thought he went out there, dug deep, got a victory the right way. It was a close fight. I understand that, but I do understand this as well. Over time, people do change how they feel about certain fights. I've seen people react to certain fights like, "Oh man, that was a robbery, robbery, robbery." Then over time, they just die. That kind of clears out and dissolves a little bit because they start to realize, oh, that fight was closer than I thought. Oh, I didn't realize this when I watched it. So over time, people realize that a lot of fights were closer than they realized, or the other person was doing a lot of things they didn't see. Because Beterviev was doing a lot in this fight that a lot of people didn't see. And he dug deep in this fight. And what a lot of people don't talk about is, and I know people say it these days, well, you know, the damage don't really matter. It doesn't matter that much as far as I've seen people like Chris Cyborg recently. She had a lot of damage, but she won the fight. Yeah, that happens all the time. Trust me, you know, we've been watching boxing a long time. We don't pick winners based on black eyes. But when you're getting walked down at a certain point in the fight and that's not getting talked about at all, like this picture I got up right now, yeah, Bivol was catching some heat in this fight. That's being unrecognized. If Beterviev was getting punched like this, it'll be all over the place. And then if Beterviev's eyes was like this, so this punch, that picture I just had up, that punch was basically what caused these kind of bruises. And look how many of those he taking. Catching them. He trying to hold the phone and it ain't even working. Boom, still getting caught in the eye. He punched it through the glove. That's how much power he got. He punched it through the glove. Yeah, but I think people, when they say, oh, it was a robbery, bruh, nah, too close for that. We can say a close fight, whatever, but I've seen robberies recently. Cause Stacey Al Foster, that's a robbery. But yeah, bruises don't mean everything, but they do tell a story. They do tell a story. As soon as you call an emergency and they come to your house and you trying to report something, what they gonna ask? First thing they gonna ask about is what? Bruises. Cause that tells a story. So let's not ever forget that. And those last 4 rounds, let it be known, hey, I'm running from that. I'm trying to get away from that right hand. That's what I'm getting away from. No way I'm trying to stand in front of that right hook. But yeah, it was a very good fight though. It was very close. I think Bivol is a top fighter of this era. Yeah, I think he's one of the best. Still at this time right now. At this time right now, Bivol he's done more than what a Triple G has done or something like that. No disrespect, but if you look at his career now and look at the age he's at, I think he's at the age where Triple G first fought Canelo the first time. So yeah, he's good. He's right where he needs to be.